One. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Magic and Andrew MMA Betting Show, episode 89. We've got Paul Craig taking on Brendan Allen in the main event. But before that, as always, we're going to start from the bottom of the card in Tapology order. Charles Johnson taking on Rafael Estevam. Magic, do you think Estevam keeps his 11-0 record here? Do you think Charles Johnson's the guy to give him his first loss?
Yeah, I just told Andrew, I'm eating pizza. It was this or canceling. I didn't have dinner yet, so I don't want any people crying here about me eating pizza. Yeah, I like Esteban here. I think this guy is like super legit. His stand-up is a liability, but the guy is a fucking tank, and Johnson struggles with chain wrestling. I mean, at this point, everybody knows what Charles Johnson is about. If he can get him down and keep him there, he wins the fight, probably beats him up. If Johnson can keep getting up, his life. I like Esteban. No need to overcomplicate it.
Yeah, I have a similar breakdown, except I'm picking Johnson because I do feel like he's going to get up. I favor his cardio. Estevam obviously has top time upside. He has pretty good jiu-jitsu. Charles Johnson, that's a hole that's been exploited by guys like Cody Durden in the past. But I'm not convinced that that Estevam is on the level wrestling of a guy like Durden. So I'm taking the more proven entity here in Johnson. I think he's going to be able to scramble back to his feet. I think he's going to be winning the striking exchanges. I think he has a cardio edge. I think Estevam could sell him early, but if he doesn't, I think he's probably in trouble. I think it's probably a close fight more often than not. But yeah, for pick's sake, I'm picking Charles Johnson.
Don't you think that Esteban kind of murders Cody Durden?
No.
I do.
I think Cody Durden would do bad things to Estevam.
I mean, I can see a close fight, but I can also see Esteban just beating the shit out of Johnson on top.
How would he get there?
With a headbutt. Didn't you watch the Contenders? That's his move.
Next up, we've got Nicholas Machado versus Trey Ogden. Any opinion here?
Yeah, I haven't bet this yet. I'm wondering if I really want to bet Ogden to finish anyone. Because Mota has this uncanny ability to die almost by himself. Like, I'm sure if he was spent enough time alone in the octagon, he will end up getting finished, just himself. I don't know how he does it. The guy just has an ability to fucking die. He's not very good, but he has power, can strike. Ogden has been fighting kind of scared, like point fighting. I think he said something along those points in the media day. Yeah, I don't know. I like doesn't go the distance. I kind of like the price on Ogden to finish. Mota is left to bunker. I don't know. It's like, do I really want to get myself into Ogden inside the distance and then he point fights? You know what I mean? Like, would be fucking depressing. But yeah, I think someone is going to get finished here.
Yeah, I don't have a strong opinion on this one. Obviously, Mata does have some durability issues, but is Ogden the guy to go after it and get that finish? I'm not convinced. Like you said, he's been point fighting. I think if anyone gets on top here, it's probably him. But I do think Mata's a better striker. He's a decent counter striker. I felt like he looked pretty good in the Torres fight up until just dying. Jim Miller knocked him out. He's a win over Cameron Van Camp. Ogden on the other side. I mean, it's kind of funny. Like the Zellhuber win aged pretty well for him. I feel like Zellhuber's looked improved since that fight. That was, I don't know if you kind of see that more as that was Zellhuber dropping the ball or that was a good fight from Ogden. Probably somewhere in the middle.
I mean, a lot didn't really happen. Like Zellhuber was terrified of getting taken down. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, a mix of the two. Yeah, I mean, it's a close fight. I think it's a tough fight to predict. I'll pick Mata for pick's sake, but it's not a confident opinion for me. Next up, Aileen Perez taking on Lucy Pudilova. I think Perez is going to win here. I think the physicality difference is big. Perez has fought at 145. Pudilova's fought at 125. Pudilova a few fights ago got taken down and held down for long periods of time against Talita Bernardo, who's not really UFC caliber. She has a decent jab. She tries to get on top in her own right, but I think Perez is a lot more physical. I think she's more likely to get on top. I think she's going to rack up top time. A little concerned about her cardio, but I think that last fight, it was just a result of her landing like 10 takedowns and just kind of going berserker for 12 minutes or however long she went before gassing a little. But yeah, I like Perez here.
I mean, she's always going to need 10 takedowns unless she starts going to jiu-jitsu class on Monday, because that's like fucking ridiculous. How don't you put the hooks in? Maybe she's too fat to do it. You know what I mean? There are some fighters that have this body type that they cannot put hooks in. You know, like the wrong wing phenotype. The wrong wing cannot possibly put the hooks in on anyone. Maybe that's her problem. I don't know. The tummy. How do you call the belly when it's not very fat? Like the tummy maybe doesn't allow her to put the hooks in, but I think it's more a flaw in her skills. I think she's going to toss Pudilova around at will early, but yeah, that's good for Pudilova. Pudilova is like a cocaine bear. She keeps coming and she has a huge cardio edge here, I feel. Also, she's stupidly durable. I think Pudilova late is a must bet here. And yeah, the previous fight was an OnlyFans girl, 36-year-old, 3 years off layoff, horrible fighter, Ashley Evans-Smith. Hadn't won a fight in forever. I mean, come on. I was huge on Airi there, but that was the spot, I think, not this one. So yeah, Pudilova late is going to be an electric bet. With Eileen Perez up 2 rounds, 3rd round for glory, and the win bonus.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those spots where I'm like, if my main concern is round 3, like I just feel like Perez is gonna we're kind of saying the same thing but ending up on different like sides of the coin here. That happened at the Johnson fight too. Like I agree with you that I think
I have the right side.
You have the right side. We'll see.
I mean, it's a gigantic number.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that's the way I would play the fight if I was playing Pudilova, but I think Perez from a money line perspective could be a little bit wider. Alexander versus Lucas Alexander taking on Jekka. Help me here with the pronunciation. Saragi.
I think it has to be Saragi. I mean, I'm not like a huge expert into Nepali names or whatever, but this has to be Saragi.
Yeah, I mean, no disrespect. I think Saragi's one of the worst fighters on the roster. Alexander, I'm not super high on him by any means, but he really should be fine here. Nothing Saragi really does impresses me. I don't think he's a good striker. I don't think he's a good grappler. I don't think he's very physical. It sounds like I'm just shitting on the guy. I just don't think he's UFC caliber. I think Alexander.
I mean, he lost in round 2 to the guy Mike Breeden was woofing too, like woof woof. That guy stopped Saragi in round 1, right? Or round 2?
Yeah.
I think it was round
1. I mean, I think big favorite. Yeah, it was round 2. I think big favorite is justified here. What do you think?
I'm just mesmerized as of why Alexander, who cannot even finish his dinner, is like minus 163 to finish this fight. Knockout is like plus 100. I mean, I took a bit of Alexander rounds 2 and 3. You know, you can arb those lines for plus 300 or so, or plus 350 inside the distance, rounds 2 and 3, when knockout is plus 100. And you can cover the Deathman rear naked choke, which is very light because this Saragi guy, I mean, I don't know what's worse than white belt, but he's no belt. He just has the G. He goes, you know what I mean? Yeah, chest out. He doesn't even have a belt. Yeah, I think Alexander can stop him late. And also Alexander does like his best work with low kicks. That should add up here. It's going to be there all night.
Mick Parkin versus Kyle Machado.
I'm sorry, Nick, but it was this or canceling. I cannot accept catabolism. I'm not going to lose muscle over the podcast.
What are your thoughts on Mick Parkin versus Kyle Machado?
Pass. I mean, I'm a big fan of Parkin, the kebab champion of the world. He's better everywhere. I mean, he probably is going to cover. Machado looked like absolute shit in contenders, but I have no interest in this. And also, I mean, submission would be interesting if it was a big number, but Parkin fucking submitted that guy that has 2 minutes of cardio, and since then his submission line has been like he's fucking Rodolfo Vieira. I don't get it. Like Parkin by knockout plus 190 is probably value just based on the bookmakers thinking Parkin is, I don't know. Yeah, Rodolfo Vieira, the heavyweight Rodolfo Vieira. I don't get it. Like, what's going on here? I probably end up betting something on Parkin by knockout just for the sake of it on fight night, you know it, but yeah, pass.
Yeah, I have minimal interest here. My hope is that Parkin gets an easy win and then playable line to fade him in the next one.
Parkin is going to beat Aspinall, bro.
What?
Parkin is going to beat Aspinall in London.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Dennis Tulin stepping up on short notice to fight Christian Leroy Duncan. Duncan, a pretty sizable favorite. You know, we've talked before. I'm not a big Christian Duncan kind of guy. I think he's an okay kickboxer. I don't think he's much of a grappler. Dennis, I'm not his biggest fan either. He's got an 11-8 professional record. He's 35 years old.
I'm a big fan of Dennis.
What did you say? You are a big fan?
I'm a big fan of Dennis. I always bet against him, and he never wins, but I'm a big fan of the guy. Those things are compatible, I feel.
Except the Pickett fight. He beat Jamie Pickett. He's got a UFC.
Yeah, I bet him to stop Jamie Pickett. He was an absolute hero there. Yeah, I mean, I shamelessly put Duncan in a parlay, minus 350. I never do this. You know I never do this, so that should tell people all they need to know. I mean, if it is a big number when it comes out, maybe Duncan by submission, because Tulin just doesn't fucking die. He's a drunk Russian. They have powers. They can take 400 punches. The only way to finish this man is a rear naked choke. Knockouts don't work. Any other submission that allows not to tap don't work. You have to reduce the oxygen flow to the brain because they are zombies. That's the only way to stop Dennis the Russian terror Tulin.
Yeah, I mean, his cardio is just so bad. Like, if he had decent cardio, I'd for sure be betting him here. But on short notice, he will
be the champion.
Yeah, he would be fighting for a belt with his 11-8 record. Yeah, I'm picking Duncan, but whatever. Chad and Heliger versus Jose Johnson. I've pretty notoriously been anti-Jose Johnson, but I think this is a good fight for him. And Heliger never landed a takedown in the UFC. Johnson, younger, longer, more athletic, better striker. I actually think if Van Heliger does try to grapple Johnson's live for a submission, I like the idea of betting good wrestlers and grapplers against Johnson. And Heliger, he's old, he's small. I don't really like his game. He's coming off a year layoff in a fight he lost to Alatang Haley, who's not exactly a top-tier fighter. His lone UFC win was a good old debate of ours where I had Jesse Strader as a big underdog. Fight was close in the third round, and then he knocked him out. I mean, that's his lone UFC win. I'm not an Ed Heliger guy, but yeah, I think Jose Johnson gets it done here. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, Heliger beating Gafurov in Contender Series is going to go down as all time, man.
I had Gafurov in that fight.
I mean, it was also an awkward fight. You know how it went down and how he got those 2 rounds. It was fucking awkward.
Yeah.
No, the other Duncan fight was cancelled, and they called Dennis. You know, when there is some killer without a fight, Dana goes, yeah, call Dennis. Call Dennis, he'll be there. No matter what, and he'll take his beating for 20K and go back to fucking Siberia until he gets another call.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this is a shit fight. Why don't you like Jose Johnson? Because he's ugly?
I just think he's a bad grappler. It doesn't have anything to do with his looks.
I don't like him because he's ugly. That doesn't have anything to do with his grappling.
Yeah, his grappling's fine.
Yeah, I think Jose Johnson's going to win. But this is probably going to be a fucking mess. Some scrambles, probably because Angelica is going to be getting touched on the feet. Maybe he tries to mix it up. This has a ton of meme potential, I feel. Going to be a fun fight, but not a great fight.
Jonathan Pierce taking on Joe Anderson Breedo. I can start us off here. I'm taking Pierce. I think Breedo is going to be dangerous early, but I just trust JSP much more down the stretch. He's hittable, but his pace, his cardio, his wrestling is just going to be too much. He took down Christian Rodriguez like 6 times. He took down Makwan Amirkhani 4 times. Breedo, he lost a fight to Bill Algeo where Algeo completed both of his takedowns, controlled Breedo for 5 minutes. And then since then, Breedo just has 3 quick knockouts, and he is explosive, and he could potentially knock JSP out early. But if he doesn't, I think he's in for it late. I think JSP's the side here. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, JSP is my guy. GSP was
GSP, we'd be max betting it against
JSP is my guy. Breedo is probably knockout early, or he's going to get into the washer. He's going to get him into the washer. You know what I mean? Like the JSP experience.
Oh my dude, I was literally I was waiting for you to finish, and I was gonna say he's gonna be ready for his JSP experience. That's fun. That's really funny.
Like, I understand why people may like Breedo, but I mean, how is Breedo plus 110 and his knockout line plus 275? Someone make it make sense. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
I like JSP here. Also, he beat Amirkhani. He should be ranked in pound for pound. Don't you think he's a better fighter pound for pound than Alex Pereira? I'm dead serious.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm not joking. Jonathan Perez is a better MMA fighter than Alex Pereira. I don't give a fuck if he has the belt in that old people bad at fighting division.
No argument from me here.
If we could put 30 pounds on JSP, he destroys Pereira.
Yeah, for sure.
I like JSP. I mean, obvious fight to call. If he doesn't die in round 1, he's going to wash the guy.
Uros Medic taking on late replacements Mikikbek or Abai. I have yet to tape this guy, so have you looked at him? Are you familiar? I think you are familiar. You think you
Of course. So you know I'm big MMA guy.
Big MMA guy.
Yeah, I sparred with him a couple times that week to make familiar with him. No, but I've watched him. I had already watched the guy. This was the guy that got the viral knockout when he punched. The other guy was a bum, and it went viral because he had like an afro and he uppercutted him and his head went crazy while he face planted. Funny knockout. You have seen it for sure. I told you the other day, I think. I think it's going to walk medics like a dog. Yeah, he has that kind of Mongolian chin. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do know.
It's a very, I don't know how to say it. I can't find the word I'm looking for. A very specific phenotype. Yeah, he looks like he has come from a book from the 12th century with his horse. You know what I mean? Does this guy have internet? He has a crazy face, bro. I'm not joking. Have you seen his face? Even his face?
I'm looking at it right now on Tapology.
Bro, I'm telling you, he looks like he hunts his dinner with a bow.
He does.
I mean, Medic has a big punch, but I kind of think he fluked his last win against Semmelsberger. I thought he was dying. He almost died, and then he had no gas as usual, and he found a big shot. Awkward fight. No, it's a different phenotype. It's the we are invading your country on horseback phenotype. This guy has just the amount of stupidity you need to fight Medic. You know what I mean? You have to take the fight to him and he quits. And that's exactly what he's going to do. Take Medic's best 2 punches with his fucking face and walk him. And he can grapple a bit too. He's a better grappler than Medic. So, yeah, I like him. I think
so are you. So does everybody else.
Better grappling than Medic?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I was a little bit disappointed with the line. Medic just knocked out Semmelsberger, Semi the Jedi. I was thinking about this later placement, probably Medic's favorite, but price is fine. I think he wins here a lot of the time. I mean, Medic is life to kill anyone. You know what I mean? But I like, this guy. We need to get this guy a nickname. It's better than learning his name. I mean, Miktibek or Olbai, come on. That's not going to sell. He needs a nickname.
Yeah.
The Khan, the Great Khan. Do you like the Great Khan?
He kind of looks like he could be Shavkat's cousin.
Bro, Shavkat looks like a nuclear engineer next to this man. This guy looks like another fucking species, like before in evolution. You look at Shavkat, you go like, yeah, he must be from Mongolia or something, Kazakhstan. You look at this guy and you don't even expect him to be able to talk. You know what I mean? I'm serious.
I need to see some proof. I've never heard him talk before.
Maybe he wins and just goes.
Anyway, Amanda Rivas taking on Luana Pinheiro. I think Rivas is going to win. She's a cardio advantage, better jiu-jitsu. I worry about her durability a little bit, and Pinheiro is a hard hitter, but I thought she lost her last fight to Waterson. I don't like her cardio. I don't think her jiu-jitsu is anything special. Rivas is good BJJ player. Yeah, I think Rivas and under the sides. I haven't played anything here, but I think doesn't go is probably a decent look given the fact that Rivas can sub her, Pinheiro can knock her out. Cardio dumb from Pinheiro's live. Rivas brings a pace. Those are my thoughts. What are yours?
I like Rivas here. She should have never gone to 125. I told her. She didn't want to listen. Don't go to 125. Macy Barber is there. But she still went. At 115, she's a force to be reckoned with, I think, Rivas. Her chin is always going to be a liability, but I mean, Pinheiro is a judo girl. Very good judo, but she goes head and arm throw. Eventually, she's going to get back taken by someone with good jiu-jitsu, and Rivas is that girl for doing that stupid shit. And also, like, Rivas may straight up just fucking win the grappling by demolition. You know what I mean? Yeah. She was the alternate for the Olympic judo team in Brazil. Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
I probably told you.
You did.
Yeah, Amanda Rivas was.
You're up to you've got all the Brazilian judo knowledge.
Yeah, big Brazilian judo guy. I watch all the competitions.
Yep.
And yeah, I like Rivas here. She probably has finishing upside. Doesn't go is a good number. The under is a good number. Pinheiro probably needs a meme knockout here, I think. You never know. Probably big meme potential. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like this fight. Good looking people. I mean, this fight after Oral Bay is going to look like a fucking Victoria's Secret model expo.
This next fight, I think, is our main event. Nick, Airi versus Peyton Talbot. Is Nick Airi the leader of the free world this week?
I mean, I'm just going to put it out there. Is Peyton Talbot the best to ever do it?
No.
What am I missing here? Like, this fucking guy is not very good. Like, what? I don't get the hype. Like, everybody's, oh yeah, Peyton Talbot's debut, it's coming. Like, he was fucking Conor McGregor when he debuted in Stockholm. You know what I mean? Like, what do they see in this guy? He's been rocked in the regionals. He's dropped rounds. He goes, I mean, he won handily, but he went life and death with fucking Reyes. Let's go, Dana Cortez. Like, what are we doing here?
That's your guy, Reyes Cortez.
This is an insane line. Just because this guy is like a rich California mulatto guy, if he was an ugly ass Mexican, he would be minus 150. Same guy, ugly ass Mexican, minus 150. Don't you think so?
I don't know. I know people liked him after the Contender Series, and like I favor him here. I do think the line's a little crazy, just because like if Nick gets on top, like he has pretty good jiu-jitsu. He's not the best wrestler, but his jiu-jitsu is pretty good, and I don't like Talbot's grappling.
I watched the fight. He gives up his back all the time. You can get on his legs. I remember I tweeted in the old account, I like Talbot. It's going to be a fun ride in the UFC, but first grappler he faces is going to fucking rank him over. And Aguirre has a double leg. That's enough for me.
Him and Hilario were wrestling in the hallways.
Talbot?
No, Nick Airi was on his wrestling team, or was on the wrestling team in high school.
Oh, okay, Aguirre, yeah. Makes sense since both are Mexicans. A school of Mexicans? full of Mexicans. I thought he was saying Talbot. Talbot apparently wrestled in high school or something. But have you seen his Instagram? He's 100% rich California kid.
No, I haven't seen his Instagram. Next up, the real people's main event: Chase Hooper versus Jordan Levit. I mean, what can you really
The
say?
gayest fight of all time is finally here.
Are
Are they making an LGBT belt for this fight?
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know where to start here. I'm picking Hooper to win, but I think this fight could be a mess. Hooper striking is still a disaster. He's taken a lot of damage already at this point in his career. I think Levit accepts bottom position a little bit too much. Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like Hooper more likely to win the grappling scrambles. I think he's probably a little bigger. I think he's probably a little better. I trust his cardio a little bit more. Just the chin's a liability. And some of his opponents who I don't consider great grapplers to be, I don't consider to be great grapplers, have gotten top time on him. Even in his last fight, like he was fighting someone who's not UFC caliber and was not looking great until the guy gassed. Yeah, so I'm picking Hooper. Who did I take? Where? I ain't
Talbot
taking
fight,
him.
I think.
I picked Talbot, but I think it's dog or pass from a betting perspective.
Andrew took the minus 800 favorite, but you never know.
Yeah, so I'm picking Hooper, but I got nothing on the fight. What are you thinking here?
This is the
more.
type of fight that people that only like boxing are like, oh, grappling is gay. This is exactly that type of fight.
This is what they were talking about.
Oh, this is just men in underwear frothing against each other on the mat, not doing nothing. Exactly this fight. I don't understand why people are so back and forth on this. I feel like this is the most obvious fight of all time. This ends up with Levit tired and Hooper bonking him from top. Don't you think so?
Yeah, more likely than not.
Like what does? I mean, I would put hands on Chase Hooper, but he just keeps coming, and he has this meme chin. It's going to hold up against Jordan Levit. Jordan Levit just fucking leg kicks. He doesn't even have hands. The guy wins by a slam knockout and then gets a one knee knockout too.
That was insane.
I'm not sure how he got here, but yeah, he's not going to destroy him. I mean, he's not going to stop Hooper from going forward. Yeah, if that was Hooker, he'll be dead. I think this ends up being a fucking mess on the ground. Levit is not that good of a grappler, and Hooper has like a gigantic differential in pace. I think this ends up looking like the Felipe Colares fight. May he rest in peace.
Yeah. Jake Matthews versus Michael Morales. It was funny. I was looking at Jake Matthews' record earlier. He's been in the UFC for a long time, and his wins, like his strength of his wins are so bad, like one of the worst in UFC history. Like he beat 50-year-old Diego Sanchez, Darius Flowers, Emil Meek, Rostam Akman, Shinso Anzai, but his losses are like pretty good. Sean Brady, Kevin Lee. It's funny. There's really no in between. His one good win is Leach. But other than that, he's beaten really like the bottom of the barrel. Michael Morales, 15-0, young prospect.
Bro, that was the singular greatest win in UFC's history.
Which one?
Like the Li Jingliang fight. This fucking guy drops a fight and comes back 3 months later with like 15 more pounds of muscle.
Yeah,
and he's like fucking Godzilla and comes out and destroys the Leech.
Yeah.
Bro, best doctor job ever. Insane. He didn't piss hot or anything. That was crazy. I was like, my hat off, gentleman.
But yeah, and then on the other side, Michael Morales, who I think got some big physical advantages here. I think as time goes on, we're going to see Morales put his game together a little bit more. His first few fights in the UFC, he's been a little bit sloppy at times, but he overcomes the technique deficiencies with just pure physicality. He's got the dog in him. I think he's going to win this fight. I think Matthews wilts and Morales is going to bring the fight to him, get in his face. I can't really see Matthews having much grappling success here. I think Morales is a better striker. He hits harder. He's more physical. So I'm taking Morales here. Any differing thoughts, or are you in agreement?
I completely agree with you. You are getting better at this betting thing. Yeah, I think Morales probably takes his time early, like he likes to do. And I hope Matthews doesn't die super early. Same situation as Alexander. If Morales was a larger number by knockout, I will take him as plus 127 or plus 130. That's not it. I don't hate doesn't go, but you can get a pretty good price on Morales 2-3. And there is a good possibility he starts slow, or Matthews tries to grapple early a little bit, or he gets ahead on volume and low kicks or some shit, and Morales is forced to bring the fight to him like he has to against Griffin. You know what I mean? And like if Morales, he's so fucking athletic that it's not even fair. You know, when he decides to go at people and people can't do anything about it, it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's not even that good. He's just not fair levels of athletic. And I think if he decides to go at Matthews cannot handle it. Like his chin will not handle it. Morales is a really, really scary prospect. Like if he actually becomes good at MMA, this guy could be the champion. I'm not joking. He's kind of the striking version of Usman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Usman fucking sucked at MMA, and he already has the belt.
Yeah. Well said. Paul Craig versus Brendan Allen. What do you got here? You've been chowing. How many slices deep are you right now?
It was a full picture.
Wow. It's impressive.
I mean, every time I eat pizza, I eat a full pizza. I don't know how it works in America, but...
Are you bulking up for the Phil Hawes fight?
No, I will need my speed there, I feel. I have to land first. I mean, you know that fight is whoever lands first, right?
What do you think of the main event, Paul Craig versus Brendan Allen?
This is like, if you take Craig and he gets bonked, or Allen has the capability of getting on top and just slicing through his guard and he gets destroyed, you are going to look silly. But I don't really think that's going to happen. You know what I mean? And if it doesn't happen and you bet Craig, you are going to be, I'm the greatest to ever do it. I told everyone. The side is going to be very obvious after about 5 minutes, I feel. And Craig, I mean, everybody knows what Paul Craig is and what he's about. I was impressed with the Brazilian fraud fight. He has been fraud checked hard 2 times in a row by Allen and Craig. I was impressed by that fight. He looked good at middleweight. I thought he would be super destroyed physically and his chin and everything. He just looked gigantic. Has to be new doctor. Props to the new doctor. That was tremendous. And I don't really trust Allen's chin either. If Craig just simply doesn't die and this goes 10 minutes, Craig is the ticket you want to be holding. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And even if he's losing, if Allen really cannot insta-tap him or insta-destroy him with ground and pound and a solid position, Craig just starts doing this random Scottish Jiu-Jitsu he does. It's all butterfly hooks, and I don't know what the fuck he's doing, but it always works. It's ridiculous. He tapped Ankalaev, he tapped Krylov. It works. So yeah, I took Craig. Why not? I'm ready to be fucking depressed. 1 minute into the main event.
Yeah, I mean, I think Brendan Allen's gonna win, but there's no way I'd be like minus 400 on him here. It's his first 5-round main event in the UFC. Paul Craig's always dangerous on the mat. His striking's improved, but like he's still not much of a striker. He's not much of a wrestler either. He's kind of a one-trick pony, and it's like if the trick works, it's amazing. I mean, the trick's worked against some like really good fighters. It's kind of crazy. Like he's a win
Allen?
over like a lot of guys. He's wins over like a lot of guys in the top 5, but he's also lost to guys, looked pretty bad in fights. He has enough volatility in his fights that, like you said, I would want to be holding a Craig ticket here if I had to. I'm going to try to fish for live, see if Allen's able to get anything going early. But, yeah, I think Allen probably wins. I don't hate the over here either. I feel like Actually, you know what? It's one of those fights too. It kind of
If
depends
you
on
want
the
the
approach.
if you want the over, you want Craig.
It kind of depends on the approach because if Allen's like scared to go in his guard, it probably looks really good early. But if he goes in there and he just
Allen is
gets into it
100%
early,
going into his guard, bro.
what's that?
If he gets the chance, Allen is 100% going into his guard.
I tend to think so too. And yeah, I don't love
Bro,
Craig.
this guy, I mean, I don't even think he's going to think about it. This guy comes with a fucking raccoon in his head to the fight.
Does that
He's
mean he's
100% going into his guard. He's from Appalachian.
all right? Well, there you have it. Anything else you want to touch on?
That guy is right. I'm more Italian than you. Also, Gombas is not an Italian surname.
It's not.
When I make picks, I actually start moving like an Italian with Italian music, like na 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 na.
I'd like to see that for sure.
If you come to Spain, I'll make you pizza. But you never want to come.
I already was there.
You were in Barcelona. That's not Spain. We are expelling them.
Is that like Russia and
No, they are way worse than Russia and Ukraine.
Decent card. It's all right. I'm not in love with it. I don't hate it.
I mean, it's
The
a nice
last card
card.
was good.
It's
Last card was really good.
I would say it's an upper tier shitty card.
Upper tier shitty card. Fair enough.
The rest of the cards of the year are insane. Even the
Yeah.
fight nights.
The last two.
Bro, the
I think
Charukian
there's
fight.
this one-
I mean, it's not a pay-per-view because they don't have Power Star, but that card is pay-per-view material. The Charukian versus Darius fight.
I'm gonna answer this for both of us and say Andrade.
Yeah, I should have bet her way heavier.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Like 1 minute into the fight, I was like, I really mismanaged the size here.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I added 5.
hindsight was 24/7. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If Dern gets on top and on the first head and arm throw and gets an armbar, you are like, oh, I'm a genius for betting this is small on Andrade.
Yeah. I added live to Andrade like +1. She was like +175 with a minute left in the first round. And around she was clearly winning, and she was already chewing up Dern's leg pretty bad.
I mean, after 2 minutes, I knew she was winning. You know what I mean?
Yeah, same. What was I gonna say? Are there 3 cards left after this one or 2? Let me see.
There are 3.
3? That's good.
Yeah, there is the Edwards pay-per-view and 2 fight nights at least.
Yeah. Crazy. I can't believe we're almost at the end of the year.
Yeah, the last fight of the year is Colby Covington.
I know.
Biggest stakes. You're going to be all Christmas thinking about that fucking fight. Your girl is going to be like, oh, Andrew, don't you like your new socks? No, it's just that I'm thinking about Colby. He went down for us. The people's champion. Why are you crying, Andrew? I was thinking about Colby.
I didn't do anything in DFS last week. I had like a couple lineups and none of them were ever live. This week, I feel like I'm looking right now.
Yeah, I bet the Bengals. Fairly medium. Let's say medium. That's my medium size for NFL 3 units. I bet them to go over. Did you bet the game?
I bet over 44.5 -115.
I don't like that. That allows higher margins to cover.
The market is at 46.5 right now, so I'm pretty content with it. To answer this question, I think Pierce at 8,400 and Perez 8,600 are probably solid. There's not a ton of dogs I like on this card from a DraftKings perspective. Maybe like
what question? You have a different question up.
Oh, the DFS question. There's not a lot of dogs I like, so I probably won't play much. Nick Aguirre at 6,700.
Aguirre.
It's
not that hard. I don't know why you Americans cannot say that. No, the R has to be hard, you know. Aguirre.
I'm not doing that. No, I have no idea. Yeah, I'm gonna have some Bellator.
Bro,
Hopefully tomorrow.
can you put that one up? Like the Bengals are. Yeah,
This?
the last one. Like Bengals are. People bring up all the time stupid statistics like this. So why? I don't care. How is this an important statistic? How does this matter to start 14 is not a sample size, but so what? If they were 0 and 200, so what?
This is what I'll say.
I mean, Joe Burrow is not responsible for whatever Chad Ochocinco was doing 10 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I also tend to think stuff like this is priced in already.
I think they are going to win outright, honestly.
It looks like just reading my read of the market would be that the Ravens are the right side, but I didn't take a side here.
I don't know what market you are reading.
What does that mean?
What do you mean by my read of the market? The Ravens
I
are
read
the
of the
side.
market, like the way.
Bold don't lie, Andrew. Bold don't lie. We'll see in like half an hour.
All right, you ready to sign off? Any last words?
Yeah, if nobody has any more questions, I'll have Bellator bets, yeah, tomorrow. But we are not going to talk about them here because I have not bet yet. A lot of lines are not out yet. Who's a better quarterback? I think Joe Burrow is a quite better quarterback than Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is super overrated in my opinion. He's just a very specific style player. And you have to build everything around his style, and I don't think he's really that good. He had that year, you know what I mean? And every time people are like rating him off that year, like, oh, when Lamar starts playing like his MVP season, yeah, he may be 47 when he decides to play like that again. I think Joe Burrow is a super legit quarterback. Probably the second best after Mahomes in the league right now.
I was waiting for you to finish to say that, and then you said it. I was going to say he's the only quarterback better than him is Mahomes.
It's him, Pat Mahomes, Trevor.
Trevor, yeah. This is
Trevor is top 5.
Hilarious question. I have not thought of that fight for even like 1 single second.
I've been all afternoon thinking about this.
You lay there awake at night looking at the ceiling like, are we fading?
Last night I was in bed and I was like, what if Gassiev cardio fails him against Budai?
Oh my god. This is terrible.
How? That's not possible. I don't understand that. Like they opened +4, right? Or +3.5. Did he reverse this? Like, I'm giving you 6 points. I'm so confident in the Bengals. I'm giving you 6 points.
I've seen this on TikTok. It's funny.
Bro, Hertz is not a top 3 quarterback in the league. People are tripping. If you get fucking Mitch Trubisky, you give Trubisky the Eagles team with his offensive line, and people will think Trubisky is good. You know what I mean? Like that offensive line is monster.
Yeah, I think Hurts is good, but I don't think he's like a top.
This is a tricky question, don't you think?
I think like I've been saying
the guy has everything, but a quarterback is supposed to be intelligent, and this guy is fucking idiotic. Like he has everything. He has a huge arm. He's huge. He's good at throwing the ball. He can run. He's impossible to tackle by just one guy. You know what I mean? Like he's a great quarterback. You look at his stats, his EPA, everything, success rate. But then he takes really stupid decisions in key moments. He's a bro. You know what I mean? I imagine this guy in a fraternity, not playing quarterback.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's great. But at some point, he has to win. Where are the Bills with the best team last 4 seasons? Maybe best roster overall last 4 seasons.
One of them, top 5 probably.
Where did they go? Conference finals once. That's all. They need to fire McDermott and give me the coaching, the coaching staff and everything. I'll coach the Bills. We'll just pass to Stephon Diggs every play.
At the end of the season, I'm going to tweet about how we're done doing the podcast.
This guy comes here and says, "Oh, Hertz went healthy." Then you disagree with him and you don't know ball. Why would you fucking ask then? You fucking idiot.
I think he was talking about the guy that teased Bengals -3.
If that's the case, I apologize. If not, I stand.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm ready to go eat. Not gonna do it on camera. So peace, guys. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back next. No, we're off next week. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Enjoy
There
your
is no card next
Thanksgiving.
week?
No, it's Thanksgiving.
And so what? They cannot fight in
They never
Thanksgiving?
do. They can't
We
fight.
don't have Thanksgiving. What's wrong with Americans? I want a UFC card.
Yeah, me too. I would like a card, but maybe we'll have
So
to.
there's nothing. There's nothing. There's no Bellator, no anything.
There's
Okay.
PFL next week.
Yeah, it's pretty decent card, but it's fucking PFL. I don't rate them. They are friends with Ngannou. Therefore, I'm not friends with PFL.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, bye.